Hello friends, this is chapter number 1, complex number. In my previous videos, I had explained exercise 1.1, 1.2, 1.3. Now in this video, I will explain all the theoretical part before the exercise 1.4. Okay, all the solved examples. Now here we will learn De Moivre's theorem, solved examples and cube root of unity and the properties of 1 omega and the omega square, set of points in complex plane and all the solved examples. And in my next video, I will explain full exercise 1.4. ओके. नमस्ते विद्यार्थी मित्रों, या व्हिडिओमध्ये आपण काय लर्न करणार आहोत? डी मोइव्रे's theorem, सर्व सॉल्व्ड एक्झाम्पल्स, क्यूब रूट ऑफ युनिटी and the properties of 1 omega and omega square, set of points in complex plane and त्याची सॉल्व्ड एक्झाम्पल्स. यामध्ये व्हिडिओ इंट्रोडक्टरी आहे तो 1.4 एक्सरसाइज हा मोठा आहे आणि इंट्रोडक्टरी देखील मोठा आहे, त्यामुळे मी त्याचे 2 पार्ट्स तयार केले. परंतु यापूर्वीचे माझे व्हिडिओ देखील तुम्ही बघू शकता इथे एक्सरसाइज 1.1, 1.2 आणि 1.3. जर तुम्ही आय बटन जर क्लिक केलं तर तुम्हाला यापूर्वीचे माझे व्हिडिओ सर्व बघायला मिळतील. ओके, नाउ लेट अस स्टार्ट डी मोइव्रे's theorem. If Z1 is equals to R1 e raised to I theta 1 and Z2 is equals to R2 e raised to I theta 2, then Z1 into Z2 is equals to R1 e raised to I theta 1 into R2 e raised to I theta 2. Their product R1 into R2 e raised to I theta 1 into e raised to I theta 2. दोघांमध्ये मल्टिप्लिकेशन म्हणून त्यांच्या पॉवरची ॲडिशन होणार. R1 into R2 is into e raised to I theta 1 plus theta 2. Okay, this is the product of the two complex number in the exponential form. Okay, that is, if two complex numbers are multiplied, then their moduli get multiplied. Moduli means what? R1 and R2, these are moduli, and their arguments get added, means what? Theta 1 plus theta 2. Okay. Now the next, when Z1 upon Z2, there is a Z1 upon Z2, it means that the two complex numbers are divided. मग काय असणार आहे? Z1 means what? R1 e raised to I theta 1 and Z2 is R2 e raised to I theta 2, and that's equals to R1 upon R2 e raised to I theta 1 upon e raised to I theta 2. Then you will get e raised to I in bracket theta 1 minus theta 2. Okay, and that is if one complex number is divided by the other, then their moduli get divided, means what? R1 upon R2, and the arguments get subtracted, means theta 1 minus theta 2. In 1730, De Moivre proposed the following theorem for finding the powers of a complex number, that is Z is equals to R in bracket cos theta plus I times sin theta, the polar form, as R cos theta plus I times sin theta bracket raised to n is equals to R raised to n into cos of n times theta plus I times sin of n theta for any n belongs to set of the integers. Okay, आता याचा प्रूफ तुम्हाला नेक्स्ट चॅप्टर मध्ये चॅप्टर नंबर 4 मध्ये शिकायला मिळेल. दॅट इज अ मेथड ऑफ इंडक्शन, हाउ इट इज. ओके, नेक्स्ट the examples. For examples, काय examples आहेत? Cos of theta plus I times sin theta bracket raised to 5 is equals to cos of 5 times theta plus I times 5 times theta. म्हणजे हा 5 या थीटाला मल्टिप्लाय होणार. Cos of theta plus I times sin theta bracket raised to minus 1 is a cos of minus theta plus I times sin of minus theta. Next, cos of theta plus I times sin of theta bracket raised to 2 by 3, and that's equals to cos of 2 by 3 theta plus I times sin of 2 by 3 theta. Okay, these are examples. Now the solved examples. Use De Moivre's theorem and simplify. Cos of pi by 3 plus I times sin of pi by 3 bracket raised to 8. Okay, and this equals to cos of pi by 3 plus I times sin of pi by 3 bracket raised to 8 is equals to cos of 8 into pi by 3 plus I times sin of 8 into pi by 3. If we simplify it, then you will get cos of 8 pi by 3 plus I times sin of 8 pi by 3. Okay, आणि हे जर आपल्याला सिम्प्लिफाय करायचं असेल, the cos of 8 pi by 3 can be written as 2 पाय अपॉन 3 प्लस 2 पाय. म्हणजे या 3 ने जर 8 पायला जर डिवाइड केलं त्याचं डिव्हिजन किती होणार तर 2 पाय प्लस 2 पाय बाय 3. सिमिलरली हियर साइन ऑफ 2 पाय बाय 3 प्लस 2 पाय. ओके, इथे तुम्ही बघू शकता cos of 8 pi upon 3 is written as cos of 2 pi by 3 plus 2 pi. Okay. Ata, what is the value of cos of 2 pi by 3 plus 2 pi? There is again one more formula. Cos of 2 pi plus theta is cos theta. Again they come in the first quadrant. म्हणजे या प्रकारे cos of 2 pi हा 1 pi and this is a 2 pi. 2 pi plus theta, it comes in the first quadrant. Okay. Similarly, sine of 8 pi upon 3 is a sine of 2 pi by 3 plus 2 pi. म्हणजे पुन्हा काय की ते कुठल्या फर्स्ट क्वाड्रंट मध्ये येणार तो इन फर्स्ट क्वाड्रंट बोथ sin and cos both are the positive, and therefore sine of 2 pi by 3 plus 2 pi is again the sine of 2 pi by 3, and this is the cos of 2 pi by 3. Again this 2 pi by 3 can be written as 2 pi by 3 हा आपल्याला कसा लिहिता येईल, that is a pi minus pi by 3, and again this is a pi minus pi by 3. आणि पुन्हा इथे एक फॉर्म्युला आपण अप्लाय करणार आहोत. what type of that formula is a sin of pi minus theta is a sin theta. Sin of pi minus theta is a sin theta means what, ज्या ज्या वेळेस पाय अँगल असेल द फंक्शन रिमेन ॲज इट इज साइनचा साइन असणार आहे. आणि तो कुठल्या क्वाड्रंट मध्ये जातो, इट गोज इन दी सेकंड क्वाड्रंट. In second quadrant, only sine is positive. Okay, sine theta is positive. Other trigonometric ratios are negative. Therefore, sine of pi minus theta हा काय असणार आहे तर sine of theta means what, sine of pi by 3. बघा इथे sine of pi minus theta is a sin theta. Similarly, sine of pi minus pi by 3 is a sine of pi by 3. What about the cos of pi minus theta? In second quadrant हा अँगल कुठे येणार, pi minus theta, तर तो सेकंड क्वाड्रंट मध्ये येणार. In second quadrant, cos is negative, and hence cos of pi minus theta is a minus cos theta. Okay, and therefore here it's a cos of pi minus pi by 3 is a minus cos of pi by 3. Now we'll substitute the values. Okay, या फॉर्म्युल्यानुसार आपण इथे केलेले ते substitute the value of cos of pi by 3 is 1 upon 2, sin of pi by 3 is root 3 by 2, and hence cos of pi by 3 plus I times sin of pi by 3 bracket raised to 8 is equals to minus 1 upon 2 plus I times root 3 upon 2. Okay. Now the next. Cos of, in bracket, cos of pi by 10 minus I times sin of pi by 10 bracket raised to 15. Okay. पुन्हा इथे आपण तो डी मोइरस थेरम इथे अप्लाय करणार. हा 15 या अँगलला मल्टिप्लाइड होणार. That is the cos of 15 pi upon 10 minus I times sin of 15 pi upon 10. Okay. त्याला लोवेस्ट करणार, त्याला 5 ने डिव्हिजन करणार. That is a 3. 5 3 चा 15 and 5 2 चा 10. That is the cos of 3 pi by 2 minus I times sin of 3 pi by 2. पुन्हा this 3 pi by 2 can be written as pi plus pi by 2. This sin of 3 pi by 2 written as pi plus pi by 2. Okay. Now what is the sine of, that is the cos of pi plus pi by 2, cos of pi plus theta. Cos of pi plus theta is minus cos theta. Similarly, cos of pi plus pi by 2 is minus cos of pi by 2. And the sine of pi plus pi by 2, sine of pi plus theta, again it is a minus sin theta. कुठल्या क्वाड्रंट मध्ये जाणार ते pi plus theta. If we see this trigonometry, x axis and the y axis, आपण तो या क्वाड्रंट मध्ये जाणार. It comes in the third quadrant. In third quadrant, only tan is positive. Okay, tan is positive, and therefore sin of pi plus theta तो कुठल्या क्वाड्रंट मध्ये जाणार, it goes in third quadrant. In third quadrant, sin is negative, and hence sin of pi plus theta is minus sin theta. Cos of pi plus theta is minus cos theta. आणि पुन्हा एक गोष्ट तुम्ही लक्षात ठेवा, whenever there is an integral multiple of the pi, the function remain as it is. हे साइनचा साइन राहणार आणि त्याला साइन कुठलं मिळणार की तो ज्या क्वाड्रंट मध्ये आहे त्याचा त्याला साइन मिळेल. Therefore sin of pi plus theta is a minus sin theta. Cos of pi plus theta is a minus cos theta. दोघांना निगेटिव्ह साइन. ओके, and sin of pi plus pi by 2 हा कसा असणार आहे तर निगेटिव्ह म्हणून इथे निगेटिव्ह साइन आहे. Now next negative will become positive. Cos of pi by 2 means what? Cos 90 is 0. Sin pi by 2 is 1 and therefore minus I in bracket minus 1. This minus will become plus and overall you will get I. Okay, and hence the value of cos of pi by 10 minus I times sin of pi by 10 bracket is 15 and that's equals to I. Now the next example, cos of phi theta plus I times sin of phi theta upon 2 and sin of 4 theta minus I times sin of 4 theta bracket is to 3. Find the value. पुन्हा इथे डी मोवियर्स थेरम इथे आपण अप्लाय करणार. आता इथे काय हे मल्टिप्लिकेशन मध्ये जाणार. 5 into 2, then you will get cos of 10 theta plus I times sin of 10 theta. Okay, next 3 into 4, cos of 12 theta minus I times sin of 12 theta. Okay, and here the cos of 10 theta plus I times sin of 10 theta. पुढे आपल्याला असं देखील हे लिहिता येऊ शकतं. What is that? There is a one more result. Cos of minus theta is equals to cos theta. Means what? Cos absorb the negative sign. And hence, we write here cos of 12 theta is written as cos of minus 12 theta. And what about this sign? Sin of minus theta. Sin of minus theta is minus sin theta. It means that minus sin theta is written as sin of minus theta. आणि म्हणून इथे आपण minus sin of 12 theta can be written as plus sin of minus 12 theta. Okay, या प्रकारे. Now next is we can write this as and this equals to आपण हे असं लिहिता येईल आपल्याला e raised to what is that 10 theta I. This is the e raised to 10 theta I and to the denominator e raised to minus 12 theta I. And if you simplify this, then you will get this is the 10 theta I minus in bracket minus 12 theta I. And this minus and minus that will become plus. म्हणजेच काय मिळेल तुम्हाला e raised to 10 theta I plus 12 theta I. You can take and say their addition, that is equals to 22 theta I. E raised to 22 theta I means what? Cos of 22 theta plus I times sin of 22 theta. And hence here the cos of 10 theta minus in bracket cos of 12 theta plus I times sin of 10 theta minus in bracket minus 12 theta. This minus will become plus and then you will get cos of 22 theta plus I times sin of 22 theta and hence the answer. Okay. Now next, express 1 plus I bracket raised to 4 in the form a plus ib या form मध्ये लिहिणार आपण. Now given the complex number z is equals to 1 plus I. Here x is equals to 1 and y is equals to 1. Therefore what is r? R is equals to in root of x square plus y square. Okay. इथे x square and y square. 1 plus 1 you will get r is equals to root 2. And what about the tan theta? Tan theta is y upon x. Y is 1, x is 1. Tan inverse of 1 that is equals to pi by 4. म्हणजे टॅनच्या कोणत्या अँगलची व्हॅल्यू आपल्याला 1 मिळते तर पाय बाय 4. अँड हेन्स z इज इक्वल्स टू द गिवन कॉम्प्लेक्स नंबर इन द पोलार फॉर्म कसा लिहिता येईल r cos theta plus I times sin theta. What is the value of r? R is a root 2, theta is a pi by 4. That is a root 2 in bracket cos of pi by 4 plus I times sin of pi by 4. Okay. Therefore, this is the z. If it is a z raised to 4, it is a z raised to 4. Therefore, we want to find out the value of z raised to 4. Therefore, z raised to 4 is equals to 1 plus I bracket raised to 4. And that is a root 2 bracket raised to 4. And next, cos of pi by 4 plus I times sin of pi by 4 bracket raised to 4. Again, by using this de Moivre's theorem. Root 2 raised to 4 means what? Root 2 into root 2 into root 2. 4 times. Then root 2 into root 2 is 2. Again root 2 into root 2 is 2, 2 into 2, 4. Therefore 4 in bracket cos of 4 pi by 4 plus I times sine of 4 pi by 4. This 4 get cancelled, you will get cos of pi plus I times sine of pi. But what is the value of cos of pi? Cos pi is the minus 1, sine pi is 0. 4 into minus 1, you will get minus 4. And hence the z raised to 4 is equals to minus 4 plus I 0 I. And hence 1 plus I bracket raised to 4 in a plus I b form is minus 4 plus 0 I. Okay. Now next, cube root of unity. Number 1 is often called unity. Let x be cube root of unity, that is 1. Therefore, here x cube is equals to 1. X cube minus 1 is equals to 0. Now here we will apply the formula. What is that formula? A cube minus b cube. A cube minus b cube, and that's equals to, in first bracket, a minus b. In second bracket, a square plus ab plus b square. Okay. And hence in first bracket x minus 1, in second bracket x square plus x plus 1, and that's equals to 0. X minus 1 is equals to 0 and x square plus x plus 1 is equals to 0. Therefore, you will get x is equals to 1 or x is equals to, using the formula. We'll solve this quadratic equation by using the formula. What is that formula? That is ax square plus bx plus c is equals to 0. Therefore, x is equals to minus b plus or minus in root of b square minus 4ac upon 2a. Here the value of a is 1, b is 1, c is 1. Therefore, minus 1 plus or minus in root of 1 square minus 4 into 1 into 1. That is 1 minus 4, which is the minus 3. Therefore, it is the root of minus 3. Minus 1 plus or minus in root of minus 3. Root of minus 3 can be written as, this is the root of minus 3. 3 into in bracket minus 1, that is a 3 into I square, and therefore you will get the root 3I. Okay. Therefore, x is equals to minus 1 plus or minus I root 3 upon 2. Okay. And hence here, cube root of unity are 1. Next, minus 1 plus I root 3 upon 2 minus 1 minus I root 3 upon 2. Okay. Among the 3 cube roots of unity, one is real. This first is real, and other 2 roots are the complex conjugate. Okay. म्हणजे याला I root 3 ला plus आहे, इथे minus आहे. And therefore these are the complex conjugate of each other. Okay. Therefore, if we square this minus 1 plus I root 3 upon 2, then you will get the next root. Okay. Minus 1 plus I root 3 upon 2 bracket square. याचा जर स्क्वेअर केला तर तुम्हाला दुसरा रूट मिळेल इथे. Now here the bracket square म्हणजे काय तर 2 square, that is 1/4. हा 1/4 आपण बाहेर घेतलेला आहे. minus 1 plus I root 3 याचा bracket square करणार. minus 1 square plus 2 times minus 1 into I root 3 plus I root 3 bracket square. Now minus 1 square means what? 1. 2 into minus 1 plus I root 3. It's a product किती येणार? Minus 2 I root 3. I root 3 bracket square means what? I square is minus 1 minus 3 minus 1 into 3. Then you will get minus 3. And if we simplify this, 1 minus 3, then you will get minus 2. Minus 2 minus 2 I root 3. Take 2 as a common. Then you will get the simplification. Either 2/4. Okay, then you will get 1 upon 2. And bracket मध्ये किती मिळेल तर minus 1 minus I root 3 upon 2. Okay. And therefore, after the simplification, you will get the square of the second root. You will get the third root. Okay. म्हणजे third root आपल्याला इथे मिळते. Thus, the cube root of unity are 1 minus 1 plus I root 3 upon 2 minus 1 plus I root 3 upon 2 bracket square. मग हे दोन्ही कसे येतात आता सेम आले, परंतु इथे काय फक्त ब्रॅकेट स्क्वेअर आहे. सपोज दॅट minus 1 plus I root 3 upon 2 ला आपण W कन्सिडर केलं, मग पुढचं जे रूट असेल ते किती असेल तर W स्क्वेअर असेल. Means that minus 1 plus I root 3 upon 2 bracket square, that is omega square. Hence the cube root of unity are 1 omega square. And here the omega is minus 1 plus I root 3 upon 2 and omega square is minus 1 plus I root 3 upon 2 bracket square. म्हणजे एकाच फॉर्म मध्ये आपण ते लिहित असतो. These are the cube root of unity. What are the cube root of unity? 1 omega square, where omega is minus 1 plus I root 3 upon 2. Okay. Also note that the 1 is equals to e raised to 2 pi I. Okay. Easy. What is the value of what is e raised to 2 pi I? In the polar form, we can write cos of 2 pi I म्हणजे काय? That is cos of 2 pi plus I times sine of 2 pi. And what is the value of cos of 2 pi is 1 and this is the 0 and therefore 1 is equals to 1. Next, omega is equals to e raised to 2 pi by 3 I and omega square is equals to e raised to 4 pi by 3 into I. If you simplify, then you will get the whole terms like this. Okay. Now the properties of 1 omega and the omega square. Omega is a complex cube root of unity. Therefore, omega cube is 1. Omega cube minus 1 is equals to 0. In first bracket, omega minus 1 into second bracket, omega square plus omega plus 1, that's equals to 0. Omega minus 1 is equals to 0. It means that omega is equals to 1. Next is omega square plus omega plus 1 is equals to 0. But omega is not equals to 1 and therefore omega square plus omega plus 1 is equals to 0. Next, omega square is equals to 1 upon omega and 1 upon omega square is equals to omega cube is 1 and hence omega raised to 3n, that is equals to 1. म्हणजे काय की omega raised to 3n can be written as that is omega cube and bracket raised to n. But what is omega cube is 1 raised to n and then you will get 1. Omega raised to 4 can be written as omega cube into omega. But what is omega cube is 1. 1 into omega, you will get omega. Omega raised to 3n plus 1 is again omega raised to 3n म्हणजे किती तर 1 आला. 1 into omega, then you will get here omega. Omega raised to 5 means what? Omega square into omega raised to 3. Omega raised to 3 is 1 and here is omega square. And in this way, omega raised to 3n plus 2, that is equals to omega square. And in this way, omega bar means what? This is the omega square and omega bar square means what? It's a omega. या सर्व तुम्हाला लक्षात ठेवायचे and easy आहे ते सर्व. Now the set of points in complex plane. If z is equals to x plus iy, represent the variable point xy and z1 is equals to x1 plus iy1, represent the fixed point A. Okay. What is here? Z is equals to x plus iy represent the variable point the xy and z1 is equals to x1 plus I times y1. Okay, this is the fixed point. Then first is a mod of z minus z1 represent the length of AP. This is the length of AP. This is the variable point. This is the fixed point. AP means what? Mod of z minus z1 and that is equals to AP. Next, mod of z minus z1 that's equals to A. Represent the circle with the center x1 y1 and the radius is A. And here the point A z1 and this is the P. It's a variable point. This is the fixed point. Okay. And therefore mod of z minus z1 that's equals to A. पुढे mod of z minus z1 is equals to mod of z minus z2 represent the perpendicular bisector of the line joining the point A and B. this is the line segment joining the point A and B. And if we draw the perpendicular bisector, and if we take any point P on this bisector, then it's clear that AP is a distance and PB is a distance. हे दोन्ही कसे असतात तर सेम असतात. But what about the AP? AP is a mod of Z minus Z1, that is equals to AP. And PB means what? Mod of Z minus Z2, that is equals to BP. Okay, these two distances are equal because it is on the perpendicular bisector. Okay. Now this represent the perpendicular bisector of the line joining the point A and B. Yeah, types of represent. Yeah, types of formula. Okay. And this represent the equation of the circle. And what about this? This represent the distance of a point, fixed point from the another variable point. Now the examples, Z1 is equals to 2 plus 3i, Z2 is equals to 1 plus I, and Z is equals to x plus iy. Now what is the Z minus Z1? Means what? Distance between the 2 points. That is first is Z is a x plus iy minus Z1 is a 2 plus 3i. Okay. मतलब subtraction करना, real मतलब real minus करना, that is x minus 2 in mod of x minus 2 plus I times y minus 3, and this is written as in root of x minus 2 bracket square plus y minus 3 bracket square, and this is the mod of z minus z1. Represent the distance between xy and 2 3. xy is a variable and 2 3 is a fixed point. Okay. Next, z minus z1, that's equals to 5. Means what? Distance between these 2 points is 5. Again, z is x plus iy and z1 is a, we have given it. What is the z1? The z1 point is a minus 1 plus I. Okay, suppose it is a minus 1 plus I. That is here z1 is minus 1 plus I. Okay. And therefore mod of x plus iy minus in bracket minus 1 plus I. And if we simplify this minus and minus, that will become plus. This is the x plus 1 and the next is a, again it will become minus I. Take I as a common, then you will get I in bracket y minus 1 is equals to 5. And if you find out it's a mod in root of x plus 1 bracket square plus y minus 1 bracket square, that is equals to 5. Squaring on both sides, then you will get x plus 1 bracket square plus y minus 1 bracket square is equals to 5 square. That is it represents the circle with the center minus 1 plus 1 and the radius of the circle is 5. आता हे सर्कल काय की this is the center radius form. मग काय असतो तो center radius form? You will learn in mathematics 1. ओके, पुढच्या चॅप्टर्स मध्ये तुम्ही ते लर्न कराल. सर्कल चॅप्टर मध्ये x minus h bracket square plus y minus k bracket square, and that's equals to r square. And here's the value of h is a minus 1, value of k is a 1. Its radius is 5. Okay. Next, a perpendicular bisector represent करते हैं. That is a if mod of z minus z1 is equals to mod of z minus z2, then the value of z किती घेतला इथे 2 plus 3i. बघूया आपण इथे 2 plus 3i and z2 is a 1 plus I, and the z2 is a z2 is a minus 1 plus I. Okay. I will write here z2 is equals to minus 1 plus I and z1 is equals to 2 plus 3i. हा पॉइंट घेतलेला त्यामध्ये z minus z1, that is x plus iy minus 2 plus 3i is equals to x plus iy minus in bracket minus 1 plus I. Okay. Simplify करना, real part x minus 2 plus I times y minus 3 is equals to x plus 1 plus I times y minus 1. पुन्हा याचा mod means what? Squaring on both sides. आपण इथे करणार. That here you will get in root of x minus 2 bracket square plus I times y minus 3 bracket square. इकडे पण तसंच मिळणार. and then squaring on both sides, you will get x minus 2 bracket square plus y minus 3 bracket square is equals to x plus 1 bracket square plus y minus 2 bracket square. पुढे simplification करणार, x square minus 4x plus 4, y square minus 6y plus 9, x square plus 2x plus 1, y square minus 2y plus 1. दोन्ही साइड से x square plus y square get cancel. You will get minus 4x आणि minus 6y. Okay. पहिल्यांदा इथे minus 4x and what about here? Plus 2x. Plus 2x इकडे आणला. That will become minus 6x. Next, minus 6y आणि minus 2y आपण इकडे आणला. Plus होणार तो. Okay. And therefore, you will get here minus 4x and again if we take this plus 2x to the left hand side, it will become minus 4x minus 2x, you will get minus 6x minus 6y, and if we take this minus 2y to the left hand side, it will become plus minus 6y plus 2y, you will get minus 4y. पुढे next 4 plus 9 तुम्हाला किती 13 मिळेल आणि हा 2 1 plus 1 2, तो 2 subtract केला, you will get 11, and therefore minus 6x minus 4y plus 11 is equals to 0. It means that multiply on both sides by minus 1, then you will get 6x plus 4y minus 11 is equals to 0. Represent the perpendicular bisector of line joining the point 2 3 and minus 1 1. Okay. Next, solve examples. If omega is a complex cube root of unity, then prove that 1 upon omega plus 1 upon omega square, that is equals to minus 1. Omega is a complex cube root of unity. Omega cube is 1. हे एक्सप्रेशन तुम्हाला प्रत्येक एक्झाम्पल साठी लक्षात ठेवायचे या प्रकारचे. ओमेगा स्क्वेअर प्लस ओमेगा प्लस 1 is equals to 0. 1 plus omega is equals to minus omega square. Omega plus 1 is equals to minus omega square. Now next 1 upon omega plus 1 upon omega square. हे simplify करणार. Multiply n and d by omega. Then you will get omega plus 1 upon omega square. But what is the 1 plus omega? 1 plus omega is a minus omega square. This omega square get cancelled. You will get minus 1. Okay. And hence it is approved. Okay. Next 1 plus omega square bracket cube is equals to minus 1. पुन्हा इथे आपल्याला 1 plus omega square ची व्हॅल्यू 1 plus omega square is a minus omega, and hence 1 plus omega square is replaced by minus omega. That's a bracket cube. Then you will get minus omega cube. But what is omega cube? Omega cube is 1, and hence the answer is a minus 1. Okay, easy आहे. पुढच्या क्वेश्चन मध्ये 1 minus omega plus omega square bracket cube is equals to minus 8. Okay. पुढे एक्सप्रेशन घेणार आपण डायरेक्ट इथे 1 minus omega plus omega square. लिहिताना आपण कसं लिहिणार 1 plus omega square minus omega bracket cube. But what about the 1 plus omega square? 1 plus omega square is a minus omega, and this is the again minus omega. Minus 2 times omega bracket cube. Then you will get minus 8 omega cube. Omega cube is 1. 1 into minus 8, you will get minus 8. And hence 1 minus omega plus omega square bracket raised to 3 is equals to minus 8. Okay. Next, if omega is a complex cube root of unity, then show that 1 minus omega plus omega raised to 2 bracket raised to 5 plus 1 plus omega minus omega square bracket raised to 5 is equals to 32. पुन्हा नेहमीप्रमाणे ओमेगा क्यूब इज 1, ओमेगा स्क्वेअर प्लस ओमेगा प्लस 1 इज इक्वल्स टू 0 आणि त्यांच्या रिप्लेसमेंटच्या व्हॅल्यूज यावरच आपण हे तयार करत असतो. ओमेगा स्क्वेअर प्लस 1 इज अ मायनस ओमेगा, ओमेगा स्क्वेअर प्लस ओमेगा इज अ मायनस 1. ओके, नाव द नेक्स्ट आपल्याला जे एक्सप्रेशन दिले ते आपण कन्सिडरेशन करणार होते. व्हॉट इज हियर 1 प्लस ओमेगा स्क्वेअर, 1 प्लस ओमेगा स्क्वेअर इज मायनस ओमेगा, म्हणून आपण याची व्हॅल्यू काढली. 1 प्लस ओमेगा स्क्वेअर इज अ मायनस ओमेगा आणि हा इथे मायनस ओमेगा ब्रॅकेट रेस टू 5. मायनस ओमेगा यू विल गेट मायनस 2 टाइम्स ओमेगा ब्रॅकेट रेस टू 5. त्याच्या रेस टू 5 मीन्स व्हॉट मायनस 32 ओमेगा रेस टू 5. Therefore 1 minus omega minus plus omega square bracket raised to 5 त्याची व्हॅल्यू किती आली मायनस 32 ओमेगा रेस टू 5. आता नेक्स्ट व्हॅल्यू आपण फाइंड आउट करणार. आपल्याला याची व्हॅल्यू. ओके, 1 प्लस ओमेगा मायनस ओमेगा स्क्वेअर ब्रॅकेट इज टू 5. 1 plus omega minus omega square bracket is to 5. But what is a 1 plus omega? 1 plus omega is a minus omega square. कशावरनं? आता हा ओमेगा इकडे आला आणि ओमेगा स्क्वेअर इकडे गेला. Then therefore you will get minus omega square. Minus omega square, you will get minus 2 times omega square bracket is to 5. And 2 into 5, you will get 10. Minus 32 omega raised to 10. Okay, this is the value. Okay. आता या दोन्ही व्हॅल्यूज काय करणार तर ऍड करणार. therefore you will get minus 32 omega raised to 5. पहिली व्हॅल्यू minus 32. दुसरी व्हॅल्यू किती आली minus 32 omega raised to 10. ओके, या दोघातनं minus 32 omega raised to 5 कॉमन करणार. 1 plus omega square. Again 1 plus omega square is equals to 0. therefore 1 plus omega square is a minus omega. पुन्हा यांचं मल्टिप्लिकेशन minus minus will become plus. 32 into omega raised to 6. But what is omega raised to 6? It can be written as omega cube bracket square. Omega cube is 1, 1's a square. Therefore you will get 32 and hence it is a proof. Okay. या प्रकारे. Next, 1 minus omega into 1 minus omega square into in bracket 1 minus omega raised to 4 into in bracket 1 minus omega raised to 5 and that's equals to 9. पुढे फक्त रिप्लेस करणार व्हॅल्यूज. हा 1 मायनस ओमेगा कीप इट ॲज इट इज. 1 मायनस ओमेगा स्क्वेअर देखील तसाच येणार. 1 मायनस ओमेगा रेस टू 4 कॅन बी रिटन ॲज ओमेगा क्यूब इंटू ओमेगा. 1 मायनस ओमेगा रेस टू 5. ओमेगा रेस टू 5 कसं लिहिणार ओमेगा क्यूब इंटू ओमेगा स्क्वेअर. ओमेगा क्यूब मीन्स व्हॉट 1. 1 इंटू ओमेगा यू विल गेट 1 मायनस ओमेगा. 1 मायनस ओमेगा क्यूब इंटू ओमेगा स्क्वेअर. पुन्हा ओमेगा क्यूब इज 1. therefore you will get again 1 minus omega square. Okay, मग काय काय मिळणार इथे 1 minus omega 1 minus omega. It means that 1 minus omega bracket square. 1 minus omega square into 1 minus omega square means what 1 minus omega square, it's a bracket square. मग दोघांचा ब्रॅकेट स्क्वेअर. therefore we can compact in a single bracket मध्ये लिहिणार. म्हणजे काय इन स्क्वेअर ब्रॅकेट 1 minus omega into 1 minus omega square bracket complete bracket is to 2. पुढे सिम्प्लिफिकेशन या दोघांचा प्रॉडक्ट करणार. 1 into 1 you will get 1. 1 into minus omega square you will get minus omega square. Minus omega into 1 you will get minus omega. Minus omega into minus omega, that is a plus omega cube and whole bracket is to 2 इथे. ओके, नेक्स्ट सिम्प्लिफिकेशन. हे आपण 1 जसं तसं या दोघांत मायनस साइन कॉमन काढणार. ओके, and therefore you will get omega square plus omega. What about the omega cube? Omega cube is 1. Again, 1 plus omega plus omega square. Okay, what is the formula? 1 plus omega square and that's equals to 0. And hence the value of omega plus omega square, that's a minus 1. Okay, and yachi 1. A minus minus काय होणार तर plus होणार. That is 1 plus 1 plus 1. That is a 3 raised to 2 and that's equals to 9. Hence the answer is 9. Okay. Next, if omega is a complex cube root of unity such that x is equals to a plus b, y is equals to a omega plus b omega square, z is equals to a omega square plus b omega, where a b belongs to set of real number, and then prove that x plus y plus z is equals to 0. Easy question. Again, since omega is a complex cube root of unity, omega cube is 1. Omega square plus omega plus 1 is equals to 0. Omega is not equals to 1. Okay. आणि हे त्याचे ते डिफरंट फॉर्म. आपल्याला कसली व्हॅल्यू फाइंड आउट करायची x plus y plus z is equals to 0. Now see this here. x plus y plus z is equals to 0. First, we will write the value of x. What is x? A plus b. पुन्हा आपण इथे काय लिहितो a plus b. Next y. What is the value of y? y किती आहे तर a omega plus b omega square. This is the a omega plus b omega square. And what about the z? The value of z is a omega square plus b omega. a omega square plus b omega. आता लाईक टर्म्स जवळ करणार म्हणजे a चे टर्म्स आणि b चे टर्म्स. The terms of A हे येलोने आपण डिनोट केले तिथे. ओके, ए ओमेगा स्क्वेअर आणि या तिघातनं आपण काय ए कॉमन काढलेला आहे. देन इन ब्रॅकेट यू विल गेट 1 प्लस ओमेगा स्क्वेअर. And what about the B? B चे terms is denoted in another color. Okay, B omega square and B omega. Take B as a common. What is the value of 1 plus omega square? And that's equals to 0. Therefore, 0 into A, 0. 0 into B, you will get 0. 0 plus 0, you will get 0. And hence, first, I consider that is x plus y plus z, that's equals to 0. And hence, it is a proof. This is the first one. Okay. Next, x cube plus y cube plus z cube, that is equals to 3 times a cube plus b cube. Okay. Again, the same, omega cube is 1, omega square plus omega, that's equals to 0. आता इथे काय आपल्याला फाइंड आउट करायचं आहे, एक्स क्यूब प्लस वाय क्यूब प्लस झेड क्यूब. मग एक एक फाइंड आउट करणार. फर्स्ट एक्स क्यूब, एक्स काय तर ए प्लस बी, therefore इट्स अ क्यूब. मग क्यूबचा फॉर्म्युला इथे अप्लाय करणार, ए क्यूब प्लस 3a स्क्वेअर बी प्लस 3ab स्क्वेअर प्लस बी क्यूब. व्हॉट अबाउट द वाय? वायची व्हॅल्यू काय? वाय इज अ ए ओमेगा प्लस बी ओमेगा स्क्वेअर. इट्स अ क्यूब. मग याचा क्यूब करणार, ब्रॅकेट क्यूब, दॅट इज ए क्यूब ओमेगा क्यूब प्लस 3 टाइम्स ए स्क्वेअर ओमेगा स्क्वेअर इंटू बी ओमेगा स्क्वेअर. जर आपण त्याचा प्रॉडक्ट केला, देन व्हॉट यू विल गेट, 3a स्क्वेअर बी, इथे ओमेगा स्क्वेअर आणि ओमेगा स्क्वेअर, दॅट विल बिकम ओमेगा रेज टू 4. ओके, तुम्ही इथे बघू शकता, दॅट इज अ 3a स्क्वेअर ओमेगा स्क्वेअर इंटू बी ओमेगा स्क्वेअर. ओके, omega square is omega square, omega raised to 4, and other terms are a square b, and hence you will get 3a square b omega raised to 4. पुढचं टर्म काय असणार आहे, प्लस 3, this is as it is, आणि याचा स्क्वेअर, that is a omega into याचा स्क्वेअर, means what, you will get here b square, omega square चा स्क्वेअर, you will get omega raised to 4. मग यांचा प्रॉडक्ट जर केला तर काय येणार, 3ab स्क्वेअर ओमेगा रेज टू 5. नेक्स्ट याचा क्यूब, मीन्स वॉट, बी क्यूब ओमेगा स्क्वेअर ब्रॅकेट क्यूब, मीन्स वॉट, ओमेगा रेज टू 6. ओके, दिस इज लास्ट इज झेड क्यूब पाहिजे आपल्याला. व्हॉट अबाउट द झेड? वी हॅव गिवन दी झेड इज इक्वल्स टू ए ओमेगा स्क्वेअर प्लस बी ओमेगा. पुन्हा याचा फर्स्ट टर्म क्यूब, मीन्स वॉट, ए क्यूब into omega raised to 6 plus 3 first term square, मग याचा स्क्वेअर, a square omega square, a square omega square चा स्क्वेअर म्हणजे omega raised to 4 into this b omega. What you will get overall, that is a 3a square b and omega square in omega raised to 4 into omega, means what, omega raised to 5. It means that you will get the 3a square b omega raised to 5. This is. पुढे नंतर काय मिळेल तुम्हाला, प्लस 3 टाइम्स, दिस इज फर्स्ट टर्म as it is, a omega square into the square of b omega, means what, b square and omega square. Therefore you will get a 3a b square omega raised to 4. 3ab square omega raised to 4. And last is a b omega, that's a cube, b cube omega cube. Again, if we add this, all these three, and the collect the terms of a cube चे terms collect करणार. First is a cube, इथे देखील a cube आहे आणि इथे देखील a cube आहे. If you collect the a cube, then in bracket you will get, पहिल्या ह्याच्यात काय मिळेल, the 1. Okay, next is a omega square या y cube मधनं, and next is the omega raised to 6. Next मध्ये 3a square b, इथे बघा आता, with the another int, 3a square b, 3a square b, and last is a 3a square b. इथे काय राहणार, 1 omega raised to 4 omega raised to 5. Therefore here 3a square b in bracket 1 plus omega raised to 5. There is a 5. इथे ओमेगा रेस टू 5 पाहिजे होतं, बट Omega raised to 5 means what? Omega cube into omega square. Omega cube is 1. 1 into omega square, that is equals to omega. And hence we have this is a 1 plus omega square. Okay. आता आपण third term collect करणार. Okay. The first third term is a 3ab square. Okay. This is the 3ab square. Again 3ab square into omega raised to 5. पुन्हा omega raised to 5 ची व्हॅल्यू किती? तर omega square. Because omega raised to 5 can be written as omega cube into omega square. Omega cube is 1. Okay. And what about here? 3ab square omega raised to 4. Omega raised to 4 कसे लिहिणार? Omega cube into omega. But omega cube is 1. And into 1 into omega, overall you will get omega. म्हणजे काय मिळेल? जर या तिघातनं 1, 2, 3, if you take from all these 3 as a 3ab square, then in bracket you will get 1. इथे किती? Omega raised to 5 means what? Omega square. And what about the omega raised to 4 means what? Omega. In this way. Okay. म्हणजेच तुम्हाला इथे 1 omega plus omega square plus omega. And what about the last term? The last term बघणार. Omega raised to 3. Here is omega cube and omega raised to 6 and omega raised to 3. हे मात्र त्याने as it is इथे घेतलेले. या दोघांच्या बाबतीत तो घेताना simplify करतो इथे. Okay, no problem. Now next is this is the a cube. 1 omega cube. Omega raised to 6 can be written as omega cube bracket square plus 3 a square b. 1 plus omega square plus 3ab square 1 plus omega square plus omega. Okay. पुढे next a cube 1 plus omega cube plus omega cube bracket square. This is the 1. Omega cube ची value 1. Omega cube is 1. 1 square is 1. Okay. 1 plus 1 plus 1. That is a 3a cube. पुढे इथे आलो आपण 1 plus omega square. Its a value is a 0. याची व्हॅल्यू देखील काय मिळेल आपल्याला? 0 मिळेल. And what about the last? Last मध्ये b cube इथे 1 omega cube is 1 1 square. पुन्हा इथे 1 आला 1 plus 1 that is you will get 3. Okay. म्हणजे काय? 3a cube हा 0 झाला, हा 0 झाला. And what about here? 3b cube. Okay. हे मिडल इथले काय आले? तर ते 0 आले. Take 3 as a common. Then in bracket you will get a cube plus b cube. And hence it is a root. Okay. It's a value. Therefore, the value of x cube plus y cube plus z cube is equals to 3 in bracket a cube plus b cube. Today, prove that 1 plus omega raised to n plus omega raised to 2n is equals to 3. If n is a multiple of 3 and if it is not multiple of 3, then that's equals to 0. That is 1 plus omega raised to n plus omega raised to 2n, that's equals to 0. If n is not equals to, n is not multiple of 3, where n belongs to set of natural number. Easy question there. For n and k belongs to set of natural number. Okay. N is a multiple of 3, then n is equals to 3k. If n is not multiple of 3, then you will get n is equals to 3k plus 1 असेल किंवा 3k plus 2 असेल. If n is not multiple of the 3. If n is a multiple of 3, then what will happen? या expressionच्या बाबतीत. What is that? If n is equals to 3k, the 1 plus omega raised to n plus omega raised to 2n याची व्हॅल्यू फाइंड आउट करणार. त्यामध्ये n is replaced by 3k. No problem. This is the one as it is. Omega raised to n means what? Omega raised to 3k. Omega raised to 2n means what? That is omega square into 3k. Okay. And therefore their multiplication 2 into 3k means what? You will get 6k, or you can write this omega raised to 2 into 3k can be written as 3 whole bracket raised to 2k. या बाबतीत काय? Omega cube bracket raised to k. And this is the one. Omega cube is 1. And again this is 1. 1 raised to k, 1 raised to 2k. This is 1. 1 raised to k is 1. 1 raised to k is 1. And overall you will get 1 plus 1 plus 1. That is equals to 3. And hence, if that is a n is a multiple of 3, then the value of 1 plus omega raised to n plus omega raised to 2n is the 3. हा first part झाला. If n is equals to 3k plus r आणि r च्या व्हॅल्यूज इथे काय घेणार आपण 1 or 2. Omega is a complex cube root of unity. Therefore 1 plus omega raised to r plus omega raised to 2r. Okay. And that's equals to 0. Okay. And hence we have here 1 plus omega raised to n plus omega raised to 2n is equals to 0 if n is not multiple of 3. In first case, if we take r is equals to 1, then you will get 1. R is equals to 1. R is 1 means what omega. R is 1 means 2 into 1. Therefore, you will get omega square. Its value is a 0. If you take r is equals to 2, means first is 1. R is 2 means what? Omega square. Next, R is 2 means what? 2 into 2, omega raised to 4 means what? 1 plus omega. Omega raised to 4 can be written as omega cube into omega. Okay, again the value of omega cube is 1. 1 plus, here is a omega square plus omega, and that's equals to 0. And hence, if n is not multiple of the 3, then the value of 1 plus omega raised to n plus omega raised to 2n, and that's equals to 0 if n is not multiple of 3. And in this way, we have completed all the solved examples in a very detail. यासाठी आत्ताच या व्हिडिओसाठी 51 मिनिट्स 52 मिनिट्स होत आहेत, म्हणून मी या व्हिडिओचे 2 पार्ट्स तयार केलेत. माझा नेक्स्ट व्हिडिओ हा एक्सरसाइज 1.4 साठी असेल. पुन्हा एकदा तुम्ही जर आय बटन जर क्लिक केलं तर यापूर्वीचे माझे सर्व लेटेस्ट व्हिडिओ 11th स्टँडर्ड सायन्स साठी तुम्हाला बघायला मिळतील. Now we'll see in the next video for the exercise 1.4. Till then, goodbye.